All right. Hi, Adam. Thank you so much for being here. One of the ways that we always kick the podcast off is with the very loaded but open-ended question of how do you, Adam, keep yourself well?
I keep myself well.
Mhm.
I like to do the things that I love doing, like traveling, seeing my friends, you know, getting my work done, eating well, going to the gym, exercising, playing sports, swimming. I do the things that I enjoy doing
I think
every day.
I love that. Joy helps
Yeah.
to keep one well. And I like that because it doesn't emphasize just the nutrition and the fitness and all of those things, which are obviously a part of your life as well. I would love to know
Mhm.
how that response may have changed over the most recent years, especially since 2018. I'm sure you take care of yourself differently now than you did then.
Yeah. Um, Before my accident, I was a bodybuilder. I was an athlete. I'm still an athlete now, but I was at a different level back then. So life was a lot more simple. I didn't need to give myself, like now I give myself words of affirmation constantly. I'm actually going through a little bit of PTSD for my injury. I was in a really horrific motorcycle accident. And so now I need to, I don't want to say daily, but consistently, tell myself the words that my mom tells me to say to myself, like everything's going to be okay. You're going to be good. You're going to be fine. This is going to be a good um investment in you, whatever decision I'm making, whether it's, writing my books, starting my company, working, traveling, all my daily decisions in life. My entire character has been placed in a sense of doubt because I was once a really big athlete that never ever got injured, never ever made a mistake. And my one mistake that I made in Thailand in 2018 led me to almost being dead and being paralyzed. And I was in a coma for 10 days. And just one stupid, but one decision almost took my life. And following that, I made a few more decisions, not decisions, and more like unaccepting of my injury, of my state, made me fall right back into the hospital because I don't want to release too much information that's in the next book series that just got completed 3 days ago. Um,
Congratulations. Oh my God.
thank you.
You
It's a
should be on a
4 book
holiday right now,
series.
not talking for a four-book series.
Yeah, yeah.
You should be on a holiday right now, not talking to me. So we appreciate you even more.
Yeah, yeah. It's no, I just now these days I need to be more accepting of my current state. I need to not push my boundaries, not take risks. And I love taking risks. That that sounds. I'd like to, on my 21st birthday, I went skydiving. I had motorcycles. I was this guy, I was an adrenaline junkie. I like to always push myself, whether it was in the gym as an athlete, whether it was on motorcycles, whether it was skydiving, whether it was doing things that are on the risky side. So now I'm finally telling myself, slow down, slow down. You're in your 30s, but slow down. You need to, be responsible. And
Mhm.
that's really the long answer to your short question.
No, I appreciate that because it highlights many things. The need to meet yourself where you are, that healing is not linear physically and mentally. Your physical healing is maybe feels complete, but with PTSD and the emotional side, it's ongoing. And also that sh- dramatic shift in identity changing in one day. And I can imagine how difficult that is. But I love that you still identify as an athlete, is just in a different form. So if you're open to talking about it, I would love to go back to what happened in Thailand. So you said there was one mistake, that being not riding a helmet.
Yeah, not riding with a helmet and also feeling invincible. Like ha having two motorcycles in Los Angeles. I'm from Los Angeles. Um my friend and I rented a couple of bikes, and as we were riding, he complained that his motorcycle had was having issues. I don't remember why, braking, fluid, something. There was issues, acceleration. I don't remember. Um, and I brushed him off, and I said, "Dude, I got this. Let me take over. You don't know what you're doing. I got you. I'll take it." So I took it. I took over his bike, and then I rode down the street and I felt that everything was okay. So egotistically, I started teasing almost playfully, accelerating, and then getting further and further ahead of him. Then, two police officers stopped us for not wearing helmets and they give us tickets. The ticket was $12. I paid it. I'm in a third world country. I'm in Thailand with my best friend. My first time ever being on an international trip with a friend, let alone a state. Uh, we paid it. I was angry, frustrated, and then I simultaneously saw like four locals riding past us with no helmets. And I go, dude, look, come on. Nobody's wearing helmets. We're on an island in Thailand. Come on. There's no more cops. Trust me. There's no more. Small island. We just got sacked by these two cops on these little um booths, whatever they were on. Just so we're gonna be fine. Got back on the bike. I drove, and I got further and further and further ahead of him. Then the next part of the story, this is how the book starts actually. The first sentences. He rides, he sees me on the floor. We don't know what happened. We don't know if I slipped, if I got hit, if we don't know what happened. But I was on the ground. The motorcycles fell, slid under a tuk-tuk, which is a little taxi, slid under a taxi. Um, and I was laying in a lake of blood and my skull broke and oil from the motorcycle shot up my brain, poisoning a part of it. Yeah, I fell into a 10-day long coma. They had to remove a piece of my brain because it was infected by the oil, contaminated, whatever word. Um, and then my whole journey started, and my book, in the beginning, it shows how things could switch so fast and what my parents did and loaded me onto an airplane that was not sufficient with the oxygen, helping me to breathe as I was still in a coma. So we landed in Taiwan, and then 4 days later, I woke up. Just this whole crazy mess. But the real reason for my story is that along my recovery is I attended many rehab facilities, and I met people with strokes, stroke victims, and TBIs, traumatic brain injuries, and emotional distress and all these things. And my reason for writing my book series, not just a standalone book, a book series, is because I want to show people that are going through any hardships, whether it's physical, mental, familial, friendships, whatever, jobs, that you can always overcome, and you can pull through whatever you're going through, no matter what it is. I mean, I've been through one of the worst accidents ever a human can go through. I mean, I was pronounced paralyzed, dead, vegetative, all these horrible words. I would need hospice the rest of my life. And now, believing in myself, I don't want to make it sound um like I'm a rocket ship going to the moon in one day. It's little by little, little tiny steps, little beliefs in myself, little tasks every day. And now I run four shoe stores. I run the wholesale department for a company. I'm the main HR for the accountants to communicate wholesale, international, Amazon. I have a house with two tenants. I drive, I have a car, I have a stupid Tesla that's way over the top, too costly. And I'm nevertheless, I'm living my life. I'm traveling. I've been to Israel by myself, went to New York, Miami, Wyoming, Utah, Portland. I'm traveling. I'm still living my life, and that's the whole reason for this, because I want to show people these are the steps that I took. You know, a single 28-year-old upon my collision can still find ways to adapt and to live a fulfilling life. And that's my whole book series about reshaping myself.
So inspiring. And I mean, congratulations, because that's a laundry list of accomplishments for anyone to achieve in 6 years, regardless,
Yeah.
having overcome so much. I can't imagine too just the fear and quality of care in a foreign country like that. Obviously, you were not present in the way to be fearful at the time, but for your family and your friends and everyone involved. So, what was the process of getting back to the States, and how long do you feel like your physical recovery really took?
You know, getting back to the States is was really nuts with the airplanes and I was in a wheelchair the first 3 months, then I was in a cane next 4 months. I was said to I possibly could never recover. Um, my parents went above and beyond. I got stem cells in Colorado. I did hyperbaric oxygen chamber sessions, like over 85 of them or 100, many of them. Yeah, ton. And I did acupuncture. I did everything under the sun with my parents, assistance and commitment to me and belief and my friends too. And that's why my story, it shows that you need friends. You need friends. No matter where you are in your life, you need friends. Because when I was a bodybuilder, I personally didn't have all the friends in the world because my life was selfishly about me. Me. Los Angeles. Me. Hollywood. Me. And I'm a nice guy. I'm kind. I love people. But when I was a bodybuilder, I was so focused. I was eating 6 meals a day. I was working out every single day, multiple times a day. I was a personal trainer. I was so about me. But then after my injury, I mean, I saw my parents, my family, and most of all, my friends saved my life. I mean, talking to my friends, being felt as an accepted person, one of the many. As a bodybuilder, I wanted to be outshining. I wanted to have all the spotlight on me. Look at me. I'm 6'2". I have muscles. I'm wearing a V-neck. I have all these, I look good. Look at me. Look at what I've accomplished now after my injury. My biggest goal, this is in my book, my biggest goal became to recover to the point, rehab to the point where I can be just blending in, one of the many, nobody that stands out. I don't want the spotlight on me. I'm wearing baggy shirts now. I'm not wearing tight shirts no longer. I want to be at the gym that I still go to almost every day. I don't wear those stringers and white. Where are you located? You
Well,
said
I'm in
you're in.
Canada. I'm in Canada now. I'm in Nicaragua. There's no gym, but I used to be a professional bodybuilder as well. So this is really resonating.
Oh, so you know everything. Okay. So
Yeah.
I
And
was
I've trained like
huge.
at
Yeah.
Gold's in LA, and I've
Okay, me too.
seen it all.
Yeah, when I was a bodybuilder, I was at Gold. I developed my relationship with, I don't know if you know who Rich Piana is, if you ever followed.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Okay. Okay, yeah, cool. So I collaborated with him. I don't know if you saw my videos and stuff like that. And I was with a few other big people, and Matt Ogus, Bradley Martin, all these just people, they became my comrades. And I was inches from taking steroids, inches. It's even in my book. My friend puts his steroids needle, whatever it is, in my AC, like right before we go work out. He wanted a human growth HGH. He was gonna inject his stomach right before our workout. And he's like, Adam, you look stunning like already. Like imagine if you and I was like this close. So, but luckily I didn't harm myself hormonally before my incident. But yeah, it's a it's a journey. It's a journey, and I want to take people on this journey with me because you'll be people can be very surprised at what you can, and it's also funny too. Like I'm a 28-year-old guy. I can't go to the bars. I can't go to the movie theaters even. I can't go out and like meet girls. Like I can't. So I go to the grocery store to meet girls. I use the grocery cart as a cane to hold my imbalanced walking with a laminated piece of paper on my babysitter seat, on the baby seat, to help me read and give me ideas of how to approach women. Like my book is really, really personal. It's like really it's not textbook. It's really just like a journal. It's a journal about my life,
Those are
you
my
know.
favorite books to read, where you take the lesson and the inspiration from the story. And I'm always so blown away by the ability of people to
Adapt.
and be so positive, not get stuck. Not that I'm sure you haven't had your moments of the why me, because how do you not have those? Or the beating yourself up of like the that one mistake, like if only I, shoulda, woulda, could have.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but the fact that you've taken something so positive from it, I feel like and the universe was really trying to stop you that day with your friend's bike and then the cops. Like, but look at everything you've accomplished and how much has changed now. Do you have that belief of everything happens for a reason? Do you have those kind of existential thoughts about it?
Um, I've been on so many interviews from spiritual to religious to and my family is Jewish from Israel. They met in the army, very Israeli parents. Um, I hmm, what's a nice way to say this? I believe in a higher power. I don't believe any religion for myself personally. I respect Muslims, Christians, Jews, whatever, Buddhists, whatever you are, I respect it. For me personally, I think this planet is the right distance from the sun for water to happen, to hormones, to DNA, to dinosaurs, to humans, to dogs, to pets, to us. Um, I think it is what it is. It happens. You can be born a slave. You can be born a prince. You can be born as a 6-year-old girl that gets raped. You can be born as Brad Pitt. I think life is coincidence. You could win the lottery. You can get get ran over by a drunk driver, which I've met so many in rehab that lost arms, legs, spinal cords. Can't, cancer can take your aunt's life away. That didn't deserve it. The kindest, sweetest, nicest person. I don't, I'm Jewish. Holocaust, my family. There was millions of people that got executed because of Hitler, because of one person's thought. Look at what's going on in the world right now with Ukraine, Russia, with Palestine, and my best friend, ironically, is Palestinian. He's an American Palestinian, but my best friend is Palestinian, but he's American. He doesn't know what the war is about. He doesn't care. I don't care either. I'm American also. So it's just like a balance of, I I don't really personally believe in religions. You can believe whatever you want to believe in, be a good person. That's all I'm going to say. I don't believe that things happen for a reason. It happened to me. It happened to me. So it is what it is,
Yeah.
you know?
And you were able to come out on the other side.
Yeah.
You describe yourself as stubborn, and where that comes from, if that saved you throughout this, long journey of healing. Everybody's that said that you couldn't, wouldn't, where you were going to end up, on the other side of your accident. That I would say tenacious, is better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. It happened to me. It happened to me, a bodybuilder, a guy that's strong, mentally and fit, whatever. Um, okay, it happened to me. Sorry, it was my mistake, but I'm gonna use it to, first of all, selfishly live my life because I only have 80 plus years on this planet. I'm gonna live my life. But since I'm in my current position, I want to inspire others and to help others because there's it's crazy schematic. 1.5 million people every year get TBIs, get traumatic brain injuries, whether it's concussions, football, cars, slipping, falling, hitting, skateboards, whatever, sports, whatever. 1.5 million a year. Now, that's a year now. What about the last 30 years? 30 million, 40 million, 50 million. So I want to when I was a bodybuilder, I was motivating people to exercise and to have a really nice body and to work out well. Now, I want to do the same thing, but for people that are overcoming injuries and hardships in their lives, because I want to be an example, not a bodybuilder example no longer, not an Arnold Schwarzenegger person no longer, Phil Heath or whatever. I want to be someone that, listen, I was a guy, worked out, loved it, enjoyed it, still do, but I'm not dealing with muscle growth no longer and benching 300 pounds, blah blah blah. I'm the guy dealing with this big red flag that has hit me. And you may have something else like that, similar. So this is my story, you know.
And do you feel your life has more purpose on the other side of this, taking that approach? You've always been dedicated, obviously, to inspiring and motivating people, but in such a different way. Like, what was the road to this new normal for you?
What was the, you mean what was the perception, the new perception?
Yeah, well, finding your new identity and new purpose on the other side of kind of letting that identity and that original purpose of motivation go, and finding your path to this new iteration of you.
You know, I've been I've watched TV. I've been to many Santa Monica piers, people speaking, Tony Robbins, all these people knowing a direction, follow me. This is what I did, blah, blah, blah. Me, I'm not highly educated at Harvard. I'm not a Prince of Wales. I'm nobody special. I'm just a guy, and that's my book. I'm just a kid, just a guy. Um, so upon my injury recovering, I didn't have a direction to follow. I didn't have a textbook to read. I couldn't even read. Still figuring out. I'm still figuring out everything. Me writing these books and trying to be a public speaker and motivating and setting this path. I'm I'm more like just shooting a shot. I'm hoping that things will turn out to be great. Um, because I don't want people to think that I'm a guy. Follow me. This is the plan. Follow me. I know what to do. No, 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 no. I'm a real person. I am one day at a time kind of guy. I'm just wake up, put on my socks with my one good arm because I have a bad arm now. Um, Wake up, get dressed, make breakfast, and go through your day and I'm just kind of seeing how it's evolving. So I'm more like in an in a evolving state than to like follow me
Mm.
sentence by sentence. So I'm just going through life and I'm just seeing what happens, honestly.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think that's a beautiful thing. It's not that you're having a roadmap, but you're allowing people to take their interpretation of how they can use what you've done to benefit them. So you
exactly.
mentioned, not being able to read. So after your accident, reading, writing, walking, totally learning everything from scratch.
Everything.
Wow.
Everything. My mom had to live with me. She showered me, told me when it was time to eat, sleep, wake up. I was 1 years old. See, I'm a big sports guy. I grew up on basketball. So I like stats and I like, numbers. So every single one of my chapters starts with like four headers, like stats, every single chapter. Like age, mentally, my weight, how much weighed, because when I was at my prime, I was about 197 pounds, like very lean. And then after my injury, like you'll see in the first few chapters, like I go down to like 147. I fell 50 pounds, and then there's attainments and there's sources because there's people that help me right at the beginning of my book for memory issues. So, like I like to see, I'm trying to write books but I'm trying to make it like fun to read and hopefully soon we'll make it an audiobook and hopefully it'll snowball from there to TV shows and documentaries. So we're
Yeah.
trying to snowball everything.
Well, and
But
oh, sorry.
no, go on, go on.
Well, I was gonna say, you said that you're in an evolution right now, but you finished your second book, right?
Yes,
So
finish.
do you already have books 3 and 4 laid out, or books 3 and 4 are going to be coming along your future journey?
They're done. Fourth book, 75% done. But I think it'll be very easy. I have a really good um editor and my I have a business partner that helps me come with align my ideas. So, but I think yeah, book 3 and 4 is done. Yeah.
How
Yeah, and it
incredible.
really gets yeah, it gets very interesting. I wish I can tell you.
We want to send everyone
Yeah.
to go read them all. And I mean, the layout of it, even, it just sounds so interesting, and just to, be so transparent and so personal. And speaking of, how how do you feel like this has impacted your personal relationships? Because I can only imagine, as you said, you leaned on your family and friends, but also no longer going back to bodybuilding, maybe opened up your circle a little bit more, because it's very, I always say, like, you have to be self-indulgent to do it well. Um, Maybe that's short-sighted and you can do it in a different way, but that wasn't the case for me. And then the shopping cart, like to meet new people with certain limitations originally. So how do you feel like it's impacted your ability to create those personal relationships?
It's still, to be honest, it's still kind of hurtful that I mean, I was the guy, I have videos of me having 120-pound dumbbells on each arm, and my friend has 40-pound dumbbells on top of it as I'm pressing it. Like I have videos, it's all over my Instagram website and all that crap. Um, I was sensationally strong and 6'2". I mean, I was the leader, the man, the strong man, the one that doesn't need you to open and hold a door for him, you know. So I'm still trying to accept the fact that when I walk, like right now, walking into the office, a person just held the door open for me. Not because they're just a very nice person, but like they see me limping over and and kind, yes, they're kind, of course, but it's what they see. It's the perception of me. So I'm trying to I'm trying to accept the fact that I am a guy that parks his Tesla in a handicap parking space. Like I'm trying to accept it. And that's why my fourth book is really it each book has like I wish I could tell you. Because I can see I like your your responses to me and I want to wow you.
Oh, you
Um
already are. Thank you.
I'll give you one. Can I give you one?
Please do. Yeah.
Um have you read 50 Shades of Grey?
I'm embarrassed to admit that, yes, I have.
Okay. So what was the biggest, may I ask you, what was the biggest topic that made it unique?
Interesting. It was a long time ago. Well, I feel like
Yeah.
everybody would say like the bondage, but I would say like maybe like
Okay.
trust and control, like a giving up control.
S&M.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my book too.
Okay. That's really
Crazy,
open to interpretation. I'm excited to see how that.
right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I
Wow.
can't say anymore.
That's a good
But
cliffhanger.
there's
Everybody's going to read it now.
yeah, every single one of my books, like I already know the exact cliffhanger. Every single book ends with a huge monumental cliffhanger because I it's gonna be good. But yeah, book two is gonna be because book one is very generic. It's about the athlete, the superstar athlete that, almost dies and is reconfiguring his life, yada yada. That's been written a million times. From Forrest Gump to an Olympic person. Um, but then book two very much transitions to not about me, but about others. And I step out of the boundaries of my own tragedy, my own life, and I meet others that not only have tragedies, but have their own desires. And then I learn those desires. So that's I can't give you much more.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So your first book came out March of this year?
Yeah.
And then when is the second book coming out?
We're going to. I hope my manager doesn't kill me for telling you all this, but we're
Well,
because she's usually the one calling me saying, "What are you doing? What are you?" Um, we're into beta readers right now. I literally before our phone call, literally 1 minute. Oh, she's gonna kill me for saying this. I literally gave her my credit card to to pay the beta readers to start reading. And then after that, it's the proofreaders, and then the cover of the book, which I've already selected, and then done.
right around the corner. Okay, well, everybody's going to want to read book two. So while they're waiting for that, they can go get book one. Wow, I'd
Yeah.
love to talk. If you're open to it, I would love to talk about your mental health because I think it is very easy to focus on the physical recovery. But as you
Yeah.
were willing
Yeah.
to mention, currently dealing with PTSD 6 years later, what has your journey with mental health been since this time, and how do you manage it?
Um, I'm still figuring out the PTSD side of it. I get PTSD at its highest when I'm laying in bed in the morning,
Mm.
because when I lay in bed, when we all lay in bed, we are what's the word? We are very fragile, so to speak, in bed. At least I am, because you are hovering, you are on a bed, you're not standing, you're not tall, you're not carrying, you are laying in the bed, almost paralyzed. So when I lay in bed and I wake up in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, you're at your weakest, so to speak, right? When you wake up in the morning, like the first seconds when you wake up, aren't you at your weakest? You're not gonna boom hold a 500-pound weight right there. No, you're at your weakest. And when I wake up in the morning, my mind is flooded with, you're about to drive on the freeway 80 miles per hour to work. You're going to brush your teeth now with your one good arm on your one good leg. You're gonna make eggs. You're going to hold the laptop at work. So my mind gets pummeled with doubts, with doubts and hesitations, and these things that just overwhelm me, just thinking about it, it just overwhelms me almost. And my heart starts to beat. And then I have these thoughts, and you'll see at the end of book one, I'm dating this girl, the first girl I ever started dating, and she is going through a divorce, and he doesn't know about me. He doesn't know that is moving on because they're just in the process of getting divorced, and he's banging on my door at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that's how the first book ends. I can say nothing else. But you
After
see that.
your injury.
Yeah, oh yeah, this is after my injury.
Wow.
So book one, he's banging on my door, and then book two, PTSD
Mhm.
is. Oh, I hope you're not giving away too much. I hope you don't get me in trouble right now.
Look,
But it just,
we can edit anything out if needed, but we'll ask your editor kindly. Wow.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
ongoing. I mean, but still continuing to get up and do those things, like get on the freeway despite that lingering fear, and which all so understandably so. And I think you're right, being in bed, you are so vulnerable. You're waking up and you're groggy, and then you're haven't eaten and you're weak, like, and to just have those overwhelming thoughts flood in right away and be able to get up and put one foot in front of the other is
yeah.
incredible.
You don't have socks on, you don't have pants on sometimes. You're naked.
Yeah.
You You need to brush your teeth. Like you're dirty, you're naked, you have bad breath, you have no makeup on, your hair is not done. You are nude. And when I say nude, I don't mean just by clothing. I mean like nude, nude. And
Mhm.
when I feel that nudeness, I feel, I don't want to say helpless, but I feel just, there's a word. I'm really bad in English. There's like you just feel vulnerable,
Vulnerable, I
and
think. Yeah.
like, yeah, and that's when the PTSD began. And I didn't even know what PTSD is. I listen to rap music, so I've heard them say rap music like "Yo, I got PTSD," blah blah blah. But I didn't understand. I'm just a guy. I don't know what PTSD is. Like here, oh, he went to the army. Yes, okay, cool. Sorry. I didn't know this. I didn't know the army. But like my manager, the one that gets mad at me for this conversation, she pointed it out. She's like, it's you have PTSD. You should go get treatment for it and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And I'm like, what is this So I'm like learning. But to answer your original question, the way I deal with this, um, is my friends and my family. I speak to them about it, like what I'm going through, and for people that don't have that, and that's what I've learned upon writing my books, from other people in rehab facilities. Not everyone has a mom, a dad, a friend, a family, a dog, a pet, whatever. Um, but there are groups, and we're very lucky to be in an age of technology, Facebook, you know, communities, get-togethers. Like I'm sure everyone has seen the movies like those drinking groups where I don't know what those groups are called where you don't drink.
AA or something.
Probably. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I didn't attend any of these things because I luckily have friends and family, but it is a a incentive brought up in my book that relationships are important, you know.
Mhm.
Relationships are important. Your best friends, your friends, your coworkers. It's always good to have be a good, kind person because you have no idea when you'll need another person in your life, you know?
Yeah, you need that
Yeah,
village, which I mean, can't speak from experience, but I could picture that in LA, especially of all places, might be difficult to build,
hugely, hugely difficult, hugely.
like a lot of surface level. Again, I don't want to stereotype, but I've been there a couple of times, like
Oh, no, 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 no.
a lot of
Stereotype.
surface
Stereotype. There,
level.
it's all correct. It's all correct.
Yeah. So I
Everyone is Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie in their eyes. They're all Kendall Jenners and they're all Kim Kardashians. They're all flashy, high-end, mall, egotistical, nose up in the air. I'm 33 years old. Um, I'm still single because I it's hard for me to connect because there's just this I don't know. I haven't met her yet. I don't want to stereotype like you. Um, but I just haven't met her yet because there's just so many so many surface levels to people, you know? And I don't know. It's
with
definitely hard in Los Angeles.
yeah. Do you see yourself staying there?
Freak, no, I almost cursed. No, 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 no. My goal is to be a success and move away. There's no way in hell I'm raising my kids here, my future children. No way in hell.
Yeah.
I need to. California has the best weather in the world, in most of the world. Um, but I don't see it as a place to raise kids. There's no relationships here. There's no lifelong friendships here. There's no communities. There's almost no culture in LA. LA is new, Hollywood is new, California is new, you know. It's I don't think it's a place where I want my kids to be raised in. I have to scour the world and travel to see where I want to go because I don't know where I want to go. I've been to South America a little bit. I've been to the Bahamas. I've been to Costa Rica. I want to see more. Nicaragua is in South America, right?
Central America, we're neighbors with Costa Rica. We border on Costa Rica.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I mean, I want to, visit these places in Argentina and Colombia and Cuba. Like, I just came back from a four I'm giving you the fourth book now. I should not, but I just came back from a four country um journey, you
Oh,
know. So
what
I wish I could tell you
what
more.
continent?
Ugh,
Don't worry, we can wait for both.
I yeah,
I'm, I'm really amazed and happy to hear that you're traveling because I could imagine that's something that could be really fear-inducing on the other side of your accident, like the what if something
yeah,
happens somewhere else. So just
yeah.
knowing
From going to the airport, from having baggage, yeah,
and
packing.
I mean being on a plane for the first time after, I mean, I guess you didn't remember the plane back.
Yeah, I know. I didn't remember any of that. Yeah,
Maybe
none
for
of
the
that.
best, because I can't imagine
Yeah,
getting on a plane, again, must have been really scary.
they loaded me up with the food trays because I was in a coma bed. It's
Wow.
crazy. The
Well,
book is crazy.
I'm, oh, thank you for sharing so much. And, I think something that you really highlight too is even just talking about, despite all of these things you've built for yourself and like the Tesla and these like visible things that people can see about your accomplishments now, it could be very easy to make an assumption about healing and not noticing that you're struggling mentally. I think there's so much of the invisible that lingers for people after a traumatic experience and an injury like this. And it's important to highlight that. And, just remembering that empathy, you've talked about kindness, you've talked about joy, you've talked about connection, and we don't need something so tragic to happen to remind us to practice those things and have empathy for the person in the grocery store that you don't notice is using the cart to hold themselves up and has a little cheat sheet to have a conversation. We just have
Thank
no
you.
idea. So I think it's just so important that stories like this are told, and that
Yeah.
you're vulnerable and willing to share them. And with that, I would love to talk about what you're doing now. So obviously publishing the books. I don't know how you're doing that, plus public speaking and also running these businesses.
Working. Yeah.
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 So how did you get into public speaking?
I was told by my business manager and my uncle that, if book authors, unless you're J.K. Rowling or you wrote Twilight, Stephanie Meyer, which is in a Blue Moon, you're not gonna, make a successful living off just writing books. And someone, especially in your position, you can be a much bigger success by speaking to people, visiting hospitals, visiting rehab facilities, going to schools, speaking about, self-awareness and safety and blah, blah, blah. Like that is what's gonna really define your life, like someone like Tony Robbins has probably written like 6, 7 books, or his teams have helped him wrote with these books. But he makes his grand plie from speaking, from, going to these places, being recorded and doing all these things and interviewing and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, um, okay. So far I've had 2 public speaking events. Not massive, not nowhere near Tony Robbins. Um, but it's a start, and it's I just had my first paid one in Long Beach for this hemophilia society community. I just posted on my Instagram. There was like about 50 or so people. So it's slowly but surely. And
Congratulations.
now on my thank you, thank you. And now on my lunch breaks, I run to random places and just say hello and present myself as a speaker and seeing if I can get that,
I love that. You're
So
hustling. So the authorship and the speaking kind of came as a package
bundle. Yeah,
together.
yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
And that you're donating. You're being so generous. Like, it means the world to me when someone takes the time to sit down and have a conversation like this, because an hour of your time is so very valuable, especially somewhere like LA. So, I hope this reaches people and gives you more of those opportunities. And the fact that you're running around on your lunch break to do that for other people's benefit is huge. And quickly, before we wrap up, I want to talk about just your career change, because before the accident, you were obviously deep in the fitness world and you'd been on the precipice of launching a fitness app.
Weeks before, weeks.
And so that
Yeah.
never ended up happening.
I was told by many, many people, mostly my mom and my sister, because they were actually beta testers using the app. It was an app that followed you by GPS, and the second you step into your gym, it tells all your friends that you're at the gym, you're working out, you're with this person, your heart rate is going at this level, you're doing this at the gym, your workout is this. So it's all over the world too. I programmed it to work. So in my book, before my accident, I test the app in Thailand where my accident happened, and it works in Thailand as I'm meeting my friend at the hotel. You can set your parameters as your gym to whatever parameter you want. Whatever you choose, that's the parameter. So let's say I want to go for a run at a park. I can set I forgot the amount, 600-foot parameter, 300-foot parameter around that park. So I did that parameter in Thailand to see if the app would work outside of the US, let alone Asia. And it did. And I'm jumping, hollering, laughing, celebrating that it worked. in Thailand. And then when we were coma.
Oh,
And to answer your question, it never happened. I don't want, and this is to answer one of your other questions, I don't want to be a part of the fitness
mhm,
community anymore. I'm good. I'm okay. Yesterday, it's funny that we're having this conversation now about this. Yesterday, there were two Asians at the gym, and there was a little girl, and she was doing dips on the dip machine, on the machine dip machine, and her elbows were out, and she was honking her chest, and you know, not even not bend over, sitting upright, and just like terrible. And I looked at her, and I'm like, shh. I have to help her out. So I go to her and her boyfriend is right there. And I'm like, you gotta bring your elbow in, you gotta scrape your elbow, your against your sides, your ribs to focus on tricep extension. And you have to hunch over, give yourself the correct leverage, and you have to breathe you have to exhale as you are bringing it out. Not to get into the whole drop set, superset, strip sets, all that hand displacements, all that kind of stuff. I kind of broke it down more simple. But that was the first time, geez, in 6 years since my accident that I ever like guided someone at the gym. And I didn't like it again because as I walk away, I'm limping away. So it's like it's me, it's in my head. I know it's not them thinking that I'm a limpy kind of guy helping out, but it's my mental issues. It's me. It's me. But yeah, I don't want to do the fitness thing anymore. Um I let the app go. The teams have been disposed and I let it go. But I think that this new career path that I'm going after, writing and public speaking, I think because I want to take the brand, rebuilding Adam, that's my brand. Um and I want to use that to open up rehab centers and assisted home living, and I want to take that brand and make it something that would make my mom proud, make my dad proud. Like, wow, we were told that our son's going to be paralyzed and vegetable and not survive. And look at him. He's built a brand from this.
amazing.
So that's my goal. That's my
Wow.
goal.
I think we're all
Yeah.
lucky to get to have the fact that you're willing to let us in and have windows to this and get to see you building yourself and building the brand and building others along the way is a really beautiful thing. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing everything that's next on the horizon for you. Before I send you away, I want to ask you a quick 5 rapid fire questions. The first being, if you identify as having one, who do you consider to be your biggest role model?
My best friend, my Palestinian best friend. Yeah, this is a book too, so my major gonna kill me. But he is everything that I should have been.
Oh,
Everything. Schooling, he's in finance, his the way he has consistent long-term girlfriends. He doesn't make mistakes. I don't think he's ever been injured himself, any like issues, car accidents, whatever. Like he's a good boy. So he's my biggest role model. He's everything that I look up to, you know.
wow. I hope he
Yeah.
gets to hear that. And what is the best advice you've ever received?
Mm. The best advice that I ever received is don't be in a rush, with your life, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 60, 70, you have time ahead of you. Don't do so many things a million miles per hour and expect, we're living in a technological world with Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, likes, sharing videos, pictures. That everyone wants the result, wants the gain right away. There's no patience no more. Nobody's patient anymore. So the best thing that I was told was don't be in such a rush. Why? Enjoy the process, you know, be aware of the reality around you. Don't just think of when I get there, when I get there, when I do this, when I do that. No, no. Instead of when I get there, why don't you feel and be aware of the journey around it? So basically just enjoy your journey.
I think that's so important, the kind of process, not just the product of, what's been developed. Best book or resource you'd recommend to people, obviously, other than your own, which is top of the list.
So repeat that one more time. You broke up
The
on me.
best book or resource you'd recommend. And I said, obviously, yours. Yours is at the
Oh,
top of the list, but we're already going to be recommending that. So if you've got anything else,
uh, so I'm not a big reader. I read a very few amount of books. The biggest, my first ever, was the Harry Potter novels. And but as I grew up 'cause I started reading Harry Potter like in third grade, and I finished everything when I was like in like what, sixth grade, fifth grade. Um, I stumbled upon this book called The Magicians by Les Grossman, and The Magicians is literally Harry Potter, but for grown-ups.
I think I've read,
So it's have you?
I think
I think
so.
there's a show. I think there's a
Yes. Yeah, I
show.
have read that. That's so funny. I actually think I have it on my phone of all.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was wow. I mean, there was sex, there was relationships like way more intricate than Hermione and Ronald Weasley and Harry Potter. That was so generic conservative. Like The Magicians is like, I don't know the show. I never watched the show, but the book, it's like it's good. It was a great book.
Here.
Great. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
When people are
Yeah, so
waiting for your second book to come out, they can go read The Magicians.
yeah, it's fiction. My book, the very first page is telling the reader everything in this book is absolutely true because everyone thinks that my book is it can't be real, the stuff that happens and the amount of highlights that continually occur every single chapter in book one is something crazy happens. And you mark my words on that.
Well, when you were explaining even the cliffhangers you're leaving off on, I was gonna say this sounds like scripted. Like it, I can totally see how people would need that reminder. Like this is my real life.
I would
Um,
love to tell you the cliffhanger for book two. I would love to, but if I do that, she will kill me.
okay, it's coming soon. We won't have to wait long. And
Yeah.
a mantra or words you live by.
Mm. I stole it from Nike because they it's great. Like this is for traveling, for driving my PTSD in the morning, going to work, doing whatever I want to do in life. Just do it. I mean, goddamn, Nike, you got the best one.
I mean, it works for
Just
a reason. Yeah.
it works for a reason. Like literally, don't think if you want to approach that girl or that guy and ask him on a date, go to the gym, watch a movie, travel, work, see your parents, whatever. Just do it.
I
Don't
love,
think, just do it. Just go. Just do it.
yeah.
Just do it.
I love that. I actually
Yeah.
shared a quote on Instagram earlier this week, and it's the cold water doesn't get warmer if you jump in late. And I feel like just do it is the short and sweet
Oh,
version of
I
that.
like that.
Yeah, I'll share
And
one.
that applies to water too, because if I go swimming at the gym, the water's cold to get in, but
Yeah,
just do it. Just go. Just go. Just do it. Just go.
I know.
You
I think
know.
a lot of literal
Yeah.
and metaphorical takeaways with that. Thank you so much, Adam. And most importantly, last but not least, for everyone who wants to now follow you, stick along with what you're doing, see what's going on next, learn about
Yeah.
your public speaking, where can they find you?
The two biggest is my Instagram. It's Adam Rose Vision. Adam Rose as the flower and vision as in sight. And my website is strive to defy.com because I'm
Perfect.
always striving to defy what people said about myself.
Thank you. I was forgetting to follow you on Instagram, so I just followed you. We have a friend in common, Lady Hammer. Do you know Stephanie personally? She's probably from bodybuilding days, if not. Anyways, I digress. We
I
will.
I I have to look. I'm not really on Instagram
Oh,
too much. Yeah. I just post my public speaking and
good.
things that are coming on there with my team. But Stephanie who?
Hammermeister. Her Instagram is Lady Hammer, her Stephanie Hammermeister. She used to be an IFBB pro, and now I don't think she's competing anymore. She's like does coaching, but I think more wellness. Anyways, I digress. Uh,
I think she interviewed me and
oh, I think she does have a podcast.
maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
I've been on a few. I'm after my injury, I used to love social media. That used to be my entire life, collaborations, Rich Piana, all these people, Um, um, have you heard of Rick Drayson? You said you were a bodybuilder.
yeah, but that
Rick
name's not
Drayson?
familiar.
He had a YouTube. He worked at Gold's Gym. He worked out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Rick Drayson, Ricdrasin. Rick Drayson. He died. I think I don't
Oh,
know. He died of something recently.
oh,
Or like 2 3 years ago. But Rich Piana, because Rich Piana was on his show, I guess on his show many times. And then after I collaborated with Rich Piana, he told me to go on there, and I did. So yeah, I don't know why what did I bring up? Oh, yeah, I'm saying Rick Grayson. He had me on his show, and he was another guy that I. So these are people that I just follow when I collaborate with.
oh,
Yeah,
oh, yes. Do you know what? I do recognize him like in his older years, but I
yeah.
never followed along. So cool. I mean, it's a small world, but I resonate a lot with what you said about like not wanting to be, I'm not in the fitness world anymore. And I think it was shoot and
Yeah.
see live. So I'm excited with everything you've got going on. And we will post your books, your resources, where to find you, everything, and keep people posted about what you've
Thank
got
you.
going on. And again, I just thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. And I'm gonna look forward to being able to now unlock all these cliffhangers in the next books.
Thank you. It's gonna be wait till book 3 and 4.
I can't wait. I want a Netflix series now. You planted that seed. I'm like, I can't wait.
Oh man, it's trust me, it's never gonna be. Yeah.
We'll stay
I
tuned.
wish I can tell you more. You'll see.
I will. Well, thank you so much, Adam. Take care and keep yourself well.
Thank you so much. You have a good day.